Hello student, hope all of you are fine. Today we are going to discuss specimen paper 2022. So I make a duplicate copy. I made a duplicate copy of that one in my desktop. So if I open this one, you will get some question paper, one question paper and one data file 02. Let me open the question paper. So today I'm going to discuss the spreadsheet part of this question paper. So spreadsheet part started from question number 5. Before that, some statement is given by the examiner, so we have to read that one. The Aura Transport have asked Planet Saviors to help them reduce their carbon emission from their buses traveling on a number of routes. They needs to identify buses that emit more carbon dioxide than expected. For their calculation, they will assume that all seats on all buses are occupied by a passenger. All the time values must be set the hour, minute, second format. So this is important thing. Before starting, you have to check your system date is like that or not, system time is like this or not. So for changing this one, where you have to go? You have to go to control panel. If it is not correct, then you have to go to control panel. First make sure that your time format is correct before starting the question, because in the beginning of the question paper, examiner is asking for that one. So in the control panel, you have to go to region, then you have to select additional setting, then you will see the time option is given. Click on time option, and here you have to mention hour, minute, second. That's all. So my laptop one is okay, so we can start the question now. Okay, according to the question paper, here they mention open and examine the file s2bus.csv and s2busstrips.csv in spreadsheet. Save the s2bus underscore trips file as a spreadsheet. That means this is your main file. So what you will do, first we'll open that folder where all the data file is given. I'll select by pressing Ctrl button. I'll select both the CSV file and press enter. Then you'll see both the CSV file is opened. Now we have to work with our main file. First, you make sure that all the data is visible in both the file. So block the whole thing, double click between two columns. Now you can see all the data is visible. Now go for the second one, block whole thing, double click between two columns. After making all the data visible, then you have to save it as an Excel workbook. Which one you have to save it? The main file. According to the question paper, trip file is the main file, bus trip. So file, save as. You can save in the same folder. Just give any name. For practice, you can give any name. But in the exam time, you have to give that question paper name. Question paper, how the question paper instructed, that name you have to give. Okay. So it should be Excel workbook and file name is TD. Save. Now we have to go for the first question. First question, in the bus trip spreadsheet, insert the appropriate formula in row 17 to calculate the total trip time for each bus. Okay, so we have to open the trip file, bus trip file. Now total trip, row number 17, this is row number 17, and total trip time for each bus we have to find out. So our bus is started from here. If you check the spreadsheet like workbook, Excel workbook, you can see bus number is given here and the trip time is given here for each bus. Okay, and that means from departure part of each bus. So total trip time they are asking to add. It's very easy, just you have to add the simple formula equal to add this one, sum, first bracket. What is the first cell address? First cell address D4. Then you have to press clone sign, that means it's 2 sign. Then you have to select the last cell address, then close the bracket and then press enter. Now you can see the result is coming. So it was your formula. Check this one, it was your formula and this is your result. Okay, now you have to apply the formula in the remaining cell, the right side of the worksheet up to the last part. Yes, this is my last part, AW. Now we will get all the data for total trip time. Now let's go for second question, second part. In row 18 to look up the number of seats on each bus. Now row 18 we have to find out number of seats for each bus. Each bus means here bus number is given. For this bus number, what will be the total number of seats? Now from where I will get the seats, total number of seats? We can check the other files. Yes, here bus number, location, number of seats for each bus is given. So what we can do, we have to extract the seats, the data of the seats from here, and we have to put it in our main file. So the data is given in vertical way in other file. So for bringing this data in your main file, you have to use VLOOKUP function. So fx VLOOKUP. So what will be my lookup value? So normally what will be the lookup value? You have to find some data which one is available in both the tables. So which data is available in both the table? If you check, so this is bus number, just check. Here also bus number is given. So bus number can be my lookup value, and my lookup value, always lookup value should be from the main file. So here you have to click fx VLOOKUP, and lookup value will be the from main file I told you. So this bus number will be the lookup value. And table array, another table, I have to select those area where bus number is up to number of seats is given. So up to third column we can get our value, right? So we can drag all the data up to third column. You can select fourth column also, that does not matter, but column index should be mentioned properly. So what does column index means? Column index means the data which you are going to extract or you are going to collect, the data belongs to which column. Now if you see this second table, I am going to collect number of seats, right, for each bus. So my data belongs to third column, so we have to mention here 3. Now range lookup, for exact value you have to put 0. Now you will get the seat number for bus number 45, that is 52. Now you have to apply the formula in the remaining cell. Done. So we did 2 questions. Now we can go for the third question. So what third question is asking? Row number 19, calculate the carbon dioxide emission for each passenger in minutes, each passenger by minutes. Okay. So what will be the carbon dioxide emission for each passenger? You have to find out. Now, so where is the total carbon dioxide emission is given for every bus? Now we can check the second table. Here is the carbon dioxide emission bus per minute. That means from each bus per minute, carbon dioxide emission is this one. So we have to collect this data, extract this data from here, and we have to put it there. Again VLOOKUP, because the data given in vertical way, right? So we have to click here. So click here and then VLOOKUP. Lookup value will be same thing, bus number, and column index. Here column index will be changed because my data belongs to fourth column. So I have to select, except the heading, we have to select all the data up to fourth column. So my column index will be 4 because my data belongs to the fourth column, and range lookup will be 0. Now what type of value I will get here after writing the formula? Press enter. I'll get carbon dioxide emission for this bus, but in the question paper they're asking what they're asking for each passenger, right? For each passenger. Did you see that? So what you have to do, more thing you have to do in this formula, you have to divide this value by total number of passenger, then you will get for carbon dioxide emission for each passenger, right? So what you have to do, then you have to divide this formula. If I press F2, okay, if I press F2, we can see the formula divided by, in some laptop also F and F2, divided by total number of passengers, okay, number of seats on this bus, that total number of seats, okay, on this bus, okay. Now then press enter, you will get this data. Now you have to apply the formula in the remaining set like previous question. Done. So this is carbon dioxide emission for each passenger, and this is total number of seats, okay, and this is bus number. Okay, now next question, we can go for the next question. Row number 20, calculate the total kilogram carbon dioxide emission for this trip. That means total whole trip. For this trip you have to find out total carbon dioxide emission emission, use only the hour and minutes from the total trip time. Okay, rounding the number of seconds to the, okay, we will read this one later on. First, what we will do, we have to find out row 20, calculate the total carbon dioxide emission, total kilograms of carbon dioxide emission for this trip. You understood this question? Row 20, calculate total kilograms of carbon dioxide emission for this trip. Use only hour and minute from this total trip time. So we cannot add hour minute together. We have to convert this one into minute, right? So what you have to do, if you check this data file or main file, you'll see total number of seat is here, and for each passenger is this one. That means what you are going to find out here, kilograms of carbon dioxide used on this journey. That means in this journey hour is 4 hours 17 minutes 19 seconds. In this time, what will be the total carbon dioxide emission? Okay, so you have to find out that one. So in that case, what I have to do, I have to multiply with these like for per passenger carbon dioxide emissions and number of seats, 52 into this one, and then we have to multiply with this value, and this value we need to convert it to all into minutes. Okay, so if you check another part of the question, what they are asking for, rounding the number of seconds to the nearest minutes. So that means you have to convert all the timing, like if it is an hour, you have to convert into minute. If it is second also, you have to convert that one into minute. So what they are asking, round the number of seconds to the nearest minute. That means, you know that 60 seconds equal to 1 minute. So if it is 30 or more than 30 seconds, that time you have to convert that one into, you have to accept that one as a 1 minute. If it is 30 seconds or more than 30 seconds, right? If it is less than 30, that time we will not accept that value. Clear? So what we will do here, first you have to multiply the number of seats and carbon dioxide emission for each passenger. So D18 into D19. Okay, so we can find out by multiplying this value, we will get what is the total number of carbon dioxide. Okay, now we have to find out the timing, or we have to multiply with the timing also. So multiply timing, first bracket, you give first bracket, write down hour first bracket D17. What this function will do for us, if I write down hour D17, that means in D17 how many hours is there, it will extract that hour. That means only 4 hours is there. See, 4 is to 17 is to 19, so it will extract 4. Then we need to convert that hour into minutes, so you have to multiply with 60, right? So then we have to add our minute. So again write down minute, first bracket, minute from where? From D17, close the bracket. So I will get minute from here. So I am adding first hour and I converted that one into minute. Then I am adding our remaining minutes. Then plus again, if first bracket, second, why I am writing if condition, because in the second they are also rounding, right? In second D17, if D17 is greater than equal to 30 seconds, that is more than or equal to 30 seconds, that time it will take 1 minute, otherwise comma 0, close the bracket, close main bracket, and then press enter. Okay, you have to convert this one into normal format, normal number system. So format cell, it should be a number, you can make it 0 decimal place. Okay, this is your total value. Now I apply the formula in the remaining cell. Okay, so again you can check your formula by pressing F2, and before that I can make it big so it will be easy for you to understand. If you check this formula, so what I am doing here, I multiplied the D18 is the number of seats, and D19 is carbon dioxide emission for each passenger. So I will get so for each passenger in each minute. So after multiplying 18 and 19, D18 and 19, we will get each minute how many, what will be the total amount of carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, so then we have to multiply with total timing. So I multiply with hour, then I converted that hour into 60, that hour into minutes, that means multiply by 60. Then I extract minute, how many minute was there, that is 17 minutes. And then I extract, I checked whether the second is more than 30 or not. If it is more than 30, more than equal to 30, more than or equal to 30, that time computer will take automatically 1 minute, otherwise it will take 0, right? I hope that you understood this formula. Okay, now we can go for the next question. Buses are grouped by the number of seats. Insert formula in row number 24 to calculate the number of buses in each group. Buses are grouped by number of seats. Okay, in row 24, calculate the number of buses in each group. Okay, now row 24. If I check, let me make it a little bit small. Oh, okay. Make the data, double click here. Now all the data is visible. Okay, now check the question. Row number 24 to calculate the number of buses in each group. So row number 24, you have to find out the number of buses for each group. Now question is that number of buses in each group. So this is the number of seat on the bus. So we have to find out how many seat is like this. We have to count how many seat is like this from some different area. Number of seat on this bus. That means from this row we have to find out how many 12 is there. How many group means here 12 group, 15 group, 16 group, 24 group. So how many 12 is there in this group total, in this total row? Okay, so for that one I have to count thing, right? In the question paper what they said, check again. Row 24, calculate the number of buses in each group. So I have to find out the number of buses in each group. In this group, how many buses are there? Okay, like this type of group, how many times it is repeated? We have to find out that one. So definitely they are asking for count. So you have to use COUNTIF. Why I am using COUNTIF? Here is they are asking for count with condition. So what condition they gave? The condition was it should be in this group, right? It should be in this group. So how many buses are there in this group? We have to find it out that one. That means how many times this one is repeated, we have to count that one. So that's why they are asking count with if condition. Count, when they will ask count with condition, that time you have to use COUNTIF function. So fx COUNTIF, sorry I mentioned COUNTIF is COUNTIF, we have to mention COUNTIF. So write down COUNTIF. Okay, now first I have to mention range, from where to where it will count, from here to this row number 18. Okay, now criteria, what will be my criteria? Criteria will be my group. So this is my criteria. Okay, and this one should be absolute cell reference because it will search only one group first. So FN F4, absolute self reference, or F4, you can press anything. Okay, now you have to apply the formula in the remaining cell. Done. Now we can go for the next question. Row number 25, to look up the number of buses in each group that meet the expected carbon dioxide level. See, in row number 25, look up the number of buses in each group. This is one condition for counting that meet the expected carbon dioxide levels. That meet the expected carbon dioxide level. That means here they are asking to count the number of buses. Which one will meet the expected carbon dioxide level? That means they are giving multiple conditions for counting. When they will give multiple condition for counting, that time you have to understand that you have to use COUNTIF. Okay, so in that case I will in row number 25 I'll use COUNTIF function. So first criteria was, according to the question paper, what they're asking for, look up the number of buses in each group that meet the number of expected carbon dioxide level. So this group in the 12, group number 12 or 15, number of buses. So first you have to range will be this one, the number of seats, this one should be absolute cell reference. Criteria will be this one, and criteria range 2. So what will be the criteria range 2? Second condition, that means the second condition. So row 25, number of buses in this group that meet the expected carbon dioxide level. So what is the carbon dioxide level? Carbon dioxide level row, where the carbon dioxide level is given. So carbon dioxide emission level, that is called carbon dioxide emission level, it is given here. So range will be, second range will be, criteria range will be this one. Okay, this one should be absolute cell reference, and criteria 2 will be expected carbon dioxide level, this one. But here is one condition, check this value is 0.1, but if you check this, let me rub it first. If you check this row, that carbon dioxide emission, if you carbon dioxide emission passenger minutes, if you check this row, nothing is like 0.1. So how to compare? So here every data is, maximum data is more than 0.1. So what, in that case, what you will do, you will count less than 0.1, right? Because nothing is like 0.1. It is, maximum thing is more than 0.1, and other thing is less than 0.1. So you will count here less than 0.1. Criteria will be under the inverted comma, it should be less than, inverted comma should be close, and ampersand sign, add sign, and it should be B1. Okay, B1 should be absolute cell reference. Why? Because you are always going to compare with the same data, right? It is not changing, that expected carbon dioxide level is not changing, expected carbon dioxide level is only B1. Always you are going to compare all the data, all those carbon dioxide emissions with only B1. That's why B1 should be absolute cell reference, and then press OK. Now you have to apply the formula in the remaining cell. That's all. Now you can check this formula again. If I go for this formula, F2, now see, count if is, first range is this one, this total number of seats on this bus, then criteria was this group, right, according to the question paper. Next range was this carbon dioxide emission passenger in minutes, and criteria was less than B1, absolute B1, that means less than 0.1. Why I take less than sign? Because here nothing is like 0.1. Check, nothing is like 0.1. Maximum thing is more than 0.1 and something is less than 0.1. So you cannot take more, than 0.1. You have to take at least 0.1 or less than 0.1. As nothing is like a 0.1, so I took less than 0.1. And I mentioned absolute cell reference because always I have to compare with same data, exact value, right? Done. Now let's go for the next question. Apply the appropriate formatting in the spreadsheet. This must include all the carbon dioxide emission displayed to 4 decimal place and the kilogram of carbon dioxide displayed as integer. So this one should be 4 decimal place carbon dioxide emission. So block whole thing, right click here, format cell, then number, decimal point will be 4, then press OK, and carbon dioxide emission, it is kilogram of carbon dioxide used in this journey, it should be in decimal number, integer number. So it is already integer. If it is not integer, you have to go to right click, format cell, just make decimal place 0, then it will be integer value. Okay, next question. We can go for the next question. In row 19, In no, row 19 for each strip, use the conditional formatting to display the content of this cell as red text on yellow background if the carbon dioxide emission or passenger or minute is greater than expected carbon dioxide emission. Okay, that means you have to put some condition. That condition will help you to do like this way. If something is more than carbon dioxide emission, it will represent background yellow and text will be red color. So let's do that one. Carbon dioxide emission. Okay, now here they are talking about this one, carbon dioxide emission. So block whole thing. First you have to block whole thing. Now go to home, option is there, conditional formatting, then new rule. Listen carefully because this is the new topics. They never asked this type of question earlier. So first you have to go to home, conditional after blocking you have to go to home, conditional formatting, new rule, and then you have to format only cell that contain. You have to click here, and in this after clicking here, format only the cell with the value. So it should be, what is the condition is given in the question paper. Let's check again. Red text and yellow background if carbon dioxide emission passenger minute is greater than expected carbon dioxide level. That means is greater than, so it should be greater than, it should be greater than only. Okay, this one, greater than which value, that carbon dioxide emission, expected carbon dioxide emission. So expected carbon dioxide emission is given where, in B1. So automatically it will come absolute B1. Okay, and what will be the format? Click on format. Font color will be red color font, and for background you have to go to fill, background yellow, then press OK and OK. Now check which one is less than 0.1, greater than, right? What condition I gave? Greater than 0.1. That time it will print yellow background and red color text. Text will be red color and background will be yellow. Now let's go for the next part of this question. White text on dark green background if this was not this case. Not this case means if it is not greater than, that means if it is not greater than, then it should be less than equal to, right? So in that case what you have to do, you have to block it again. Then go to again conditional formatting, new rules, select format only this cell. You have to write, select less than equal to which one? Expected carbon dioxide emission, expected carbon dioxide level, that is this one, and format, font color should be white color, fill color, that means background color should be dark green, this one. Okay, now if you check, you will see something is white color font and dark green. Which one is less than equal to 0.1, right? So done. Now let's go for the next part. So we did 45 marks questions within some minutes. Okay, set the spreadsheet question number 6. Set the spreadsheet so that when it is scrolled, column A and row 1 to 3 remain on the screen. What does it mean? That means if you move your cursor pointer, like in Excel, if I move my cursor pointer, everything is going up and down. Did you see that? So but in this question paper they are asking something should not be moved up or down. What are the something addresses is? Okay, now column A and C, row 17 to 20. So column A and C, so you have to block column A and column C, row 17. Then by pressing control button you have to block this way. Okay, by pressing control button. Did I miss some question? I think I missed some question. Oh no, not this one. Question number 6. I am missing 6. Set the spreadsheet so that when it is scrolled, column A and row number 1 to 3 remain on the screen. That means when I scroll, that means if I move ups and down, the column A and row up to row 3 should not move, but here everything is moving. Did you see that? So what I will do in that case, I will keep my cursor pointer after column 3. So this is column 1, after row 3. So row 1, row 2, row 3, and after column A. So that means here. So except this row, everything will move. Okay, so how to do that? So we have to keep my cursor pointer here. So according to the question paper, see the question paper what they're asking. Column A and row 1 to 3 remain on the screen. So it should not move. So what you have to do for this one? First we have to keep my cursor pointer under that condition. That means condition was up to row number 3 and column A. So I am not selecting column A. Maybe it is in row number 4, that doesn't matter. I'm not selecting in column A. I have to put it my cursor pointer after column A and after column row 3, after row 1 to 3. So after that you have to go to view, then click on freeze span and then select freeze span. Now see, one line came and you see this 3 row is not moving, and the one portion up to 3 row portion, that column A also not moving, right? Perfect. Now next question. Protect all the cell in column A and C, row 17 to 20. Okay, that means you have to protect this column A and C and row 17 to 20 so that they cannot be edited when the worksheet is locked. Okay, leave all other cell unprotected. That means except this range, all other cells should be unprotected. Okay, so how to do that? And protect the worksheet but not the workbook using the password this one. So how to do that? First I have to unprotect whole worksheet. Block whole thing, right click here, format cell, right click over the selection part, format cell, then go to protection. You just unblock this one, locked, then press OK. Now everything is unlocked. Okay, now what you have to do, according to the question paper, what they are asking, column A and C, protect all the cell column A and C, column A block column C, and 17 to 20, right? So by pressing Ctrl button, block column A and column C, and then by pressing Ctrl button again, 7 blocks row number 17 to 20, right? So I selected 17 to 20 and row column A and C. Then what I have to do? Then we have to go to review, not review, then I have to right click here again, format cell, then protection, just click lock and then press OK, right? So this portion is locked now, we cannot edit it. Okay, after that what they're asking, when worksheet is locked, leave all other cell unprotected. Okay, protect the worksheet but not the workbook using the using the password this one. Okay, so now we have to give the password, so it should not be edited. Okay, so how to give that one? So we have to go to review, then in the question paper they mention not the workbook, protect the worksheet. See, protect the worksheet not the workbook. So in that case what I will do, I have to go to review and review menu and then protect sheet, not protect workbook. In the question paper clearly mentioned protect sheet. Click here and then computer will ask for the password. You type that password which one is given in the question paper, then press OK. For the verification again they will ask your password, then press OK, then press OK. Now it is protected. None, done. Save your, you know how to do this thing. Now this is last question. The expected carbon dioxide level passenger minutes has been changed by the government to 0.07. Okay, use your spreadsheet to model this change for this. Okay, just you have to change the value, instead of 0.1 you have to give 0.07 and you have to save it. That's all for the spreadsheet part. Hope you understand my lecture. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in my Google Classroom or in Zoom Classroom. Thank you all.